It feels weird to be doing Doctor Who in a midnight review. Because...
Bye, Letty!
She took off in a hurry. Because... when I get really invested in a TV show, I have a tendency of fussing about it, like, a great deal. Like, when I was growing up, and I'd watch The X-Files, the way people in my house could tell that that's what I was doing is because they could hear me screaming from the living room. Like, what are you doing? Stop making that face! Don't go in there, it's haunted! So, when I watch Doctor Who, I do tend to fuss about it a great deal, but that's just because I like it so much. So... like, when we watched the last episode before this one.
Yeah.
I was doing an inordinate amount of fussing.
Three-day fit about the faces he was making.
Okay, at the end of the last episode, okay, it's the end of the Matt Smith era, and we're starting with Peter Capaldi, and so he gets, like some of the other ones before him, a little, like, heartfelt goodbye speech. But during this speech, he's making what I can only compare to the face French Stewart used to make on Third Rock from the Sun when he was calling in the big giant head. It's kind of like a sort of face, and like it was, for me, making me laugh during a part that I think I was supposed to be crying at. But I was talking to my friend Emily on text, and we came up with the theory that maybe he was making that face to bias us towards Peter Capaldi, like, oh, thank God, this guy isn't making that face. So here we are, watching the first episode in, they had a Fathom event, where they showed the first episode of Series 8, yes?
Yes.
Which we watched on TV on Saturday. We had a viewing party with a friend Nick, and Tracy, and Rhiannon, and their kids. And so it was good, I think, getting to see it a second time, especially on the big screen, because there was some stuff that we missed. Like, for example, you were fussing about the dinosaur.
It was ridiculous.
Do your
the one line, and as I was saying earlier today, one throwaway
tell
line.
Tell us what you were fussing about first.
The dinosaur was as tall as fucking Big Ben.
Yeah, it opens with this dinosaur in the middle of London, and it's as tall as Big Ben.
And that's goddamn fucking ridiculous. They're not that fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
They're not.
So he was mad about that all of Saturday and all of Sunday, and then we sit down in the theater and we realized that there's a conversation that Lady Lizardface
I spent 2 days going just one throwaway line to make it make sense.
And the wife is like, but they're not that big. I've seen fossils. And Lady What's-Her-Face is like, but I was there.
Yeah, and that was fun.
So
it's still bullshit giant dinosaur to fill a story's need, but
well,
whatever.
They needed it to have a phone booth in its neck, and if it was only 2 stories tall, that would kind of like, it would be like an ostrich with a golf ball, or a grapefruit.
Yeah.
So, I really, really liked Peter Capaldi. He's got, like, he's got a sort of gravitas that I don't think, Matt Smith had, and he's got a really good comedic timing. But again, I was a little annoyed with Matt Smith. I did really like him as the Doctor. He just did some things that annoyed me, and I fussed because I love.
The thing, I think what Matt Smith had that a lot of the other Doctors didn't have is he not only had a good long run on the show, longer than Tennant or Eccleston did, he had a much better supporting cast.
Oh God, yeah. Well, he had Amy and Rory.
Yeah.
And they're some of my favorite companions.
And that makes a difference. A good supporting cast can make your lead much stronger, I think. But, yeah, there were moments where I think that they were writing Matt Smith's character to be like a big, silly kid.
Yeah, well, they lost me a little bit right when they introduced Matt Smith, because David Tennant developed a catchphrase, allons-y, kind of organically throughout the run of his tenure as the Doctor. So then when they introduced Matt Smith, they're like, oh, well, he should have a catchphrase too. Let's make him say Geronimo 20 times in the first episode. And so that kind of stuck whether we wanted it to or not, and so that line has kind of become like the gathering point for my ire with that character. So they had Capaldi say it one time in this episode, but it was kind of a throwaway.
It was kind of a throwaway joke. There was a lot of throwaway, fun little references.
Like when he was fussing at Clara, and he's like, "Man, it's times like this I miss Amy." I have to figure it's because Amy was taller. Because he said that Clara is 5'1",
Yeah.
and that is a wee bit of a girl.
Yeah, well, and Amy was more self-reliant.
Amy was more self-reliant, but I thought it was more in terms of having longer legs, because at the time she was trying to scoot the sonic screwdriver back across the floor towards her.
Yes, yes. I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, this episode was well put together. It seemed a little like they had taken bits of previous episodes and cobbled them together into an episode, but I kind of get the feeling that they're going somewhere with that. Because
well, I
they
think
had
that was completely intentional.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, because they had him mention, like, oh, I've gotten this face somewhere before, I can't figure out where, all this seems familiar, because it was the sister ship of the Madame Le Pompadour. And even like, when the Weeping Angel showed up on Christmas in the last episode, that was just kind of reminiscent out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Reminiscent out of nowhere is a main theme, it seems, right now. Clara annoyed me a little less than she normally does. You really like her.
I like Clara, but I'm not entirely certain why. I think there have been better companions that I liked more.
Uh-huh.
But I think, especially with Peter Capaldi more so than Matt Smith, there's a fun dynamic there.
Oh yeah, I agree they get along really well. Her character I think is too smug by half, and I have to wonder if it's because she's trying for impish smile and shooting past that into Smirksville. But like, I enjoy the character. It's just like the underlying smugness that rankles. But
well,
I do like the way they work together more so I think than with Matt Smith.
Yeah. I think the problem with Clara maybe in the last season was that there was always danger and stuff in each episode, but I don't think for her it was always kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
And then this is the big shock to her system, so it lets her character develop a little bit more and makes her more interesting by quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, people in the episode were giving her character a rough time because she wasn't really grasping onto the concept of the whole Doctor Regeneration thing. Like, we gotta fix him, we gotta turn it back, but that's gonna happen, She's never seen this before. That happened with Rosie, as I recall. And, I think that it was in keeping with the character, and she got over it pretty well.
Yeah.
I like that, they seem to be developing not so much a romantic relationship. Donna is one of my favorite companions, and the reason for that, at least in the modern series, is that she's one of the few companions that wasn't along because she had the hots. And I think that they're trying to go with Clara along that route where she's not with the Doctor because she fancies him, although that was apparently the case prior to the regeneration, and May developing more of a friendship.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like you like Donna, I fucking hate Donna.
I adore Donna. She was adorable.
No, she wasn't.
She was.
No, she's annoying as hell.
I disagree. I think we should talk about the ending, because we found it confusing at first viewing, and I think that, because the whole room was like, who the fuck is that girl? And I'm like, well, I think that's the Mother Superior.
It's not.
Are you sure? Did you Google it?
Yes, it's not.
Then that makes even less sense.
Mysterious big bad for this season.
That's what she was under?
That's what she's being described as.
Uh-huh.
The character Missy. It's not the Mother Superiors.
Okay.
Different actress.
Fuck, that was my theory. I thought it was because the Mother Superior had that whole bit where she was talking about, like, oh, she helps guide souls and keep them safe in this world and the next, so it stands to reason she'd be at heaven,
No,
and plus it seemed like she had sort of a sexual relationship with the Matt Smith Doctor.
Or, no, because in that last episode, a sexual relationship with a previous Doctor, but not necessarily Matt Smith, because that was her first time seeing his face.
Oh, okay.
No, I looked it up. It's not the same actress, because you brought that up the other day, and I didn't buy it for a second, because I didn't think it was the same actress, and I was right. It's not.
Did you do the dance? Did I miss it?
No, I didn't do a dance. I wasn't gloating about it. It was like, that can't be the same actress, and it's not. It's because the lady who was the Mother Superiors is much more attractive.
I thought this lady was pretty. She was pretty in kind of like a Silence eye patch lady sort of way, and like a too much eyeliner, over expressive, self-assured older lady.
Yeah. Not my thing.
Okay. But yeah, it opens up in like the heaven from frickin' Charmed, and it's like, we're in heaven, he's my boyfriend, we umbrella dance. And so I'm not really sure where they're going with that. Obviously they'll tell us, but at the time it was very, very jarring because I'm not really used to that level of simplistic religion in Doctor Who.
And it's probably, I have
I'm sure it's
a distinct
not heaven.
feeling, yeah. Yeah, because that would go against a lot of shit that's been previously done in Doctor Who. But, no, overall, I thought it was a fine episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season.
I'm just looking forward to Capaldi as the Doctor. I think he's a damn good actor. He's been around for a really long time, and he's done a lot of stuff.
Well, they had the bumpers up before the episode proper started, and it said that he won an Oscar, I guess, for a live-action short film.
Yeah.
Friends, Kafka's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. Well, that, and he was on Neverwhere, which was a really fun show.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a character actor. He's been around a long time. He's as far as Doctor Who is probably since Eccleston, he's probably the one with the most acting chops, and I liked Tennant and Smith, but
yeah, Tennant, the only thing I'd really seen of him before that was Barty Crouch Jr. in Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, and he's one of those guys that I think is a fine actor. I'd like to see him in more, and Matt Smith I'd like to see in more too, but with Eccleston and Capaldi, you actually have a body of work you can go back, and it's not hard to find either of them. Eccleston, they're both excellent character actors that have been around a long time. Eccleston usually plays a heavy, but that's beside the point. And I like the idea of hopefully this Doctor is a little darker, a little more serious. Because those were Matt Smith didn't get there very often. Matt Smith was really good at portraying the age,
yeah, and the
kind
alienness of it.
But
Tennant was the oncoming storm.
Well, those are the parts of Tennant I liked when he was all goofy and silly. I kind of tuned out a little bit as soon as he got dark. I was just like, oh shit.
He did the glower well.
Yes.
And
Capaldi does the
glower well. He's got cross eyebrows, independent of his face. But yeah, it was nice seeing in the theaters. They had the episode proper, and then it also had like this little front bit where it was I forget names so much. Scrax. Strax, kind of like doing they're like on a spaceship, him and Lady Whatsit and her wife, and he's doing kind of like a rundown.
And it starts with a J. It'll come to me. Lady
Whatsit and her wife, and so he's doing kind of a bloggy rundown of all the different Doctors that had happened before Peter Capaldi, and it was pretty funny because he was like, this one is a cross between a man and a granny. He decided he loved women so much, he decided to be a woman, David Tennant.
Yeah, it's good little ribs on every one of the Doctors.
It made me laugh. And the thing is, like, the problem was whenever one of the Doctors showed up that was a fan favorite, the entire friggin' audience would clap through most of the funny descriptions, so we didn't hear much of it. There was also, I have a 12th Doctor kind of little toy screwdriver, and I was going to bring it. I'm like, nah, that's too dorky. And then we got into the theater, and there was like, I could hear like zzz, zzz, going off behind me like crickets in a field. And then when that kid stood up in front of the theater and was like, hey everyone, I hope you don't mind, I'd like to take a picture for my blog. And there's that like, just all screwdrivers lit up across the theater. So that was kind of cute.
Fucking nerds.
I love nerds.
I had a run-in.
There were a couple of people who I think needed to take a bath, but I think...
yeah, there were some... I had them
kind of like confunky in regions of the theater.
I overheard one of the dumbest fanboy moments I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Worst episode ever.
Walking out of the theater, and I just hear this dude go, well, I sure as hell liked him better than the last guy. So I just kind of turned around, and it was a dude wearing a bow tie and a fez. And I just wanted to smack him. You like him better than the last guy? You mean the guy you're fucking dressed as?
Fucking response to that is, my dad's a Shriner, it's a coincidence. You can't figure maybe he was joking. With his outfit being the punchline?
No, he was dead serious.
I choose optimism.
I don't. I have very little faith in people.
But yeah, it's like I fuss about little things because it's, you know, I love it so much, and fussing is how I show my love, and also because it's so hot.
It's
like
Springfield
95
has this,
degrees outside.
It's not even 95. It's like a solid 83. It's just the
it's so
humidity.
wet.
It's like Florida hot in Springfield right now. It's fucking ridiculous. It feels like we're wearing a blanket. Just fucking, it's heavy.
Yeah. So and I got a haircut earlier, so it's like sweat with pieces of hair stuck to it. It's very unpleasant, but I had fun in spite of that.
Well, it was air conditioned in the theater, baby.
Yes, that was nice.
Yes.
There's not much else to say. I mean, we didn't get any previews. We actually got out a little while before Brian and Letty and Brad did, because just by dint of no previews. But I don't know. It was a fun movie going experience.
I love the
solid
Fathom
hour and
events.
40. You know.
I haven't had a bad time at any of the Fathom events.
I kind of want to go to one of those opera ones that they keep advertising for to see if those are any fun. Because like I used to like watching the opera things on the PBS.
Well,
It seems like it'd be fun.
If you want to go, we can go. It's same rule as the theater in real life. I get to
You
be
get
as
to be
drunk
drunk?
as I want to be.
Pff, whatever. Me and Brad are going to see the Mikado at the Hoogland on Friday, so that should be fun. I kind of wonder if we should do a midnight review of it. The Mikado being an extremely racist Gilbert and Sullivan musical. I checked the cast list, and boy, is it all white people. So that should be fun. Final thoughts?
Yay.
Well, because
Doctor Who.
you got on the Doctor Who train relatively recently.
Well, yeah, you kept talking about it, so I was like, I'm going to sit down and watch the show. And then I watched it, and yeah, it was something I don't know. I grew up a bit of a geek. I started reading comics really early and got into movies pretty young. And so I reached a point, probably somewhere in high school, where I grew a resistance to all things nerdy that I wasn't already into, just to kind of save myself. So like when Doctor Who came back, I was like, oh, I don't give a flying fuck about this. I really don't care. And then Nick would blabber on about it. And general rule of thumb, whenever Nick blabbers on about something on length for months, it means I probably don't want to get involved, because I probably won't enjoy it.
Well, sometimes Nick gets like really big involved in stuff, I think, just for a way to pass the time.
Yeah.
But Doctor Who, I think, is a notable exception, because that show was fantastic.
No, but I got into it, and it's fun. It's I can't take it too seriously, because it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's an enjoyable show.
Yeah, I admit that they lost me a little bit last season with like the robot cowboys and the spaceship dinosaurs, but I think that
The dinosaurs on a spaceship episode was fucking amazing.
For me, this is a return to form, so I'm pleased.
Yeah, sure.